What's up guys, welcome back to another video. It's Aleksi here. So in this video I'll talk about God and what he's trying to teach you in this season. Look out, check out the Truth first link, Walk with God course second link, donations if you'd like help with this channel, and one-on-ones if you want to talk to me on private about something faith and self-improvement related. So we have seasons with God, and in every season God is telling you, he doesn't give you everything instantly and burden you with everything to change one day. We have seasons with God. Maybe this season it's for you, it could be something to do with lust, or maybe your diet, maybe you need to change your focus, you're lazy, whatever. Like, we have seasons. You need to stop asking, in a sense, God, like, why is this happening, or when is this gonna happen, and so on. Maybe you should ask God in the season what he's trying to actually teach you, right? What is the thing he's trying to get you to progress, right, on your self-improvement, and actually in your faith, in your self, coming to know yourself, understanding yourself, where you're going wrong, and so on. That inner growth is what God wants you to do, because that inner growth allows you to also grow. Everything comes from the inside out, not from the outside in, right? It's not like we do outside actions outwardly and then stuff changes. We change inwardly and then that changes our outside, reality. How we are then able to interact and so on, how we are as a person, how we outwardly behave even, is changed truly from the inside, not from the outside pretending. So in this season you should ask yourself, what is God trying to teach me here? In every orchestrated scenario, because every situation is orchestrated, the people you meet is orchestrated, come to understand and see the signs, like, what is God trying to teach me here, in this season? Is it to do with lust? Is it to do with your diet? Is it maybe you're lazy? Maybe you're still coveting the flesh in so many ways. Maybe you're still struggling with some kind of sin or whatever deeds, or maybe you just are lacking something you should be pursuing. Maybe you're lacking in your calling, or maybe you're overworking. Like, there's always things God is trying to teach us, to have moderation, balance, to do the right things, and to change inwardly. There's always something in every season you can learn and kind of come to contemplate, whether it's like sins, or maybe you're just doing something wrong in general. It can't always be a sin necessarily, especially if you aren't doing major sins or anything like that. But it always is about inner growth and coming to understand yourself. And even if it's just coming to understand something about yourself, where you're going wrong, or sometimes it's even about maybe you do something right. It could be a confirmation from God. You need to pay attention to a lot of things. A lot of things are happening at once, and you're developing, especially if you're really serious about your faith journey, you're going to be developing fast if you really put your heart into it and your soul into it, and your mind and body, and really come to do your faith journey properly. So you have to come to understand, what is God trying to teach me here, good and bad, what is right and wrong, and what are you doing right and what are you doing wrong. And once you contemplate all of these things, you understand what God is trying to teach you in that season, and then you can actually improve. You shouldn't just think about what's wrong with you. You also must understand what you're doing right, so you can combine, remove the wrongs and just do the right things, And sometimes self-doubt can actually hinder you when you're doing things right. Sometimes you might start questioning yourself due to certain circumstances or environments, maybe with God. You can maybe even hinder your own self, without even God doing anything. But you might misunderstand God, perhaps, or you might misunderstand something you're doing, and you might even get confused, or the enemy is trying to attack you maybe, and you get confused, and you might start self-doubting something you're doing. Maybe it's regarding to your calling, maybe the devil is trying to delay you in some way, or hinder you or attack you when you're doing your calling. And that's when you kind of need to understand, don't have this self-doubt, and ask God and ask yourself, what is God trying to teach me here in this season? And really also have your own mind, in a sense that have contemplation and self-awareness of what's right and wrong, and read the truth to understand what's right and wrong, and have God guide you, and also discern what is coming from the enemy and what is coming from God, because not all that seems good comes from God. It might come from the enemy. That might be a hindrance or a distraction to you. So you have to be kind of concerning, and also reading the truth helps a lot here, because once you actually read the truth, you come to understand what is right and wrong, so you can correct your thoughts, views and opinions about society and the world and your calling and everything you're doing in life, how to live life properly with God. And that's what the truth is for. It's to change yourself and your views, corruption, everything about you, and to understand when the enemy is trying to attack you, when the enemy is trying to distract you or whatever. You know, when the enemy is trying to, in a sense, the enemy has so many ways to attack you in a sense, so you have to be very self-aware as well of that. But you know, it's basically a learning journey, and we all make mistakes during the journey because we're not perfect, and God knows we're not perfect. He doesn't expect us to be perfect either. But the most important thing is you do your best. Just like Noah, when he was building the ark, he did his best and avoided as many mistakes as he could. But I'm sure he still made mistakes because it's a hard project. Just like changing ourselves is a hard project. You know, we are the only ones with this opportunity in this generation, really. And to come to know God so well, we only have this knowledge available to us. But yeah, just remember to ask yourself and God, even if you struggle, what are you trying to teach me this season? And you know, just ask that question yourself and God. Thank you for watching. It was a Will This Way. See you in the next one. I hope this kind of helped you think about stuff. If you're lacking and really asking the wrong questions when you should be asking what am I supposed to change in this season?